Walter Jenkins first noticed it when he tried to get up from his recliner one Sunday afternoon. The game was over, the remote had fallen to the floor, and what used to be a simple push of his arms and shift of his weight now took 3 tries, a grunt, and a moment to steady himself once he was standing. He laughed it off, but later that evening he tripped on the front step and nearly fell. That time, he didn't laugh. He was 74 and had always prided himself on staying spry, as he put it. A walk around the block, a bit of light gardening, the occasional dance with his wife Carol in the living room. Nothing crazy, but lately his legs felt like someone had taken the springs out of them. Heavy, slow, reluctant. It wasn't just age. It was something slipping beneath his skin. A week later, at his annual checkup, the doctor noticed. "Trouble getting up from low chairs?" she asked. "Only when I'm trying not to look like an old man." She smiled, but it faded quickly. Weak leg muscles in seniors often start subtly, but once it sets in, it progresses fast. You lose stability, balance, and it gets harder to regain strength once it's gone. He didn't like the sound of that. So what's the fix? More walking? That helps, but nutrition is just as critical. You'd be surprised how much muscle degradation ties back to what's on your plate. Walter blinked. "Well, you mean I've been eating wrong all these years?" "Not wrong. Just not smart for your age. Your muscles are starving for specific nutrients, especially as your body absorbs less of them. There are 6 foods you need to be eating more of, starting yesterday." She handed him a list. He read it twice before folding it into his jacket pocket. That night, he spread the paper out on the kitchen counter. Carol stood beside him with her reading glasses, scanning the items. "Eggs?" she said. "You already eat those." "Not every day," he said. "Maybe I should." 1. Eggs, the first food on the list. High in protein, especially leucine, which muscles crave. They also had vitamin D and B12, critical for nerve function and balance. The doctor said most seniors don't get nearly enough. The next morning, Walter made 2 boiled eggs with toast. No more sugary cereal, no more excuses. Greek yogurt came next. Walter had never liked yogurt much. He'd always thought of it as ladies' food from the commercials. But Carol picked some up, plain and thick, with a drizzle of honey. High protein, calcium for bones, and probiotics to help digestion, another hidden issue with aging and nutrient absorption. After 2 days, he noticed he wasn't as bloated. His knees still ached, but something was shifting. Salmon was on the list too. Carol made it with lemon and herbs the following Friday. Fatty fish, full of omega-3s. Not just heart healthy, but muscle protective. The doctor had told him omega-3s helped reduce inflammation and might even slow muscle loss by improving how his muscles responded to protein. Walter was skeptical until the 3rd week. He bent to tie his shoe and didn't have to lean against the wall to get back up. 4. Spinach. This one was easy. Carol had always liked adding greens to everything, but now they made it a rule, at least a handful in 1 meal a day. Spinach was high in magnesium and potassium, minerals that most older adults didn't realize they lacked. Walter had learned that weak muscles weren't just about protein, they were about the signals nerves sent to those muscles. Without the right minerals, the message didn't get through. They started making spinach omelets, spinach in soups, spinach sautéed with garlic. Walter stopped wrinkling his nose. 5. Beans, particularly black and kidney beans, full of iron, protein, and slow-digesting carbs. Walter read an article that said iron deficiency was one of the most overlooked causes of muscle fatigue in seniors. Carol made a pot of chili that week. Walter had 2 bowls and felt like he could mow the lawn afterward. But it was the 6th food that surprised him most. Pumpkin seeds. "Seeds?" he asked, holding the little bag Carol had bought. "They're high in magnesium, zinc, and protein. Snack on them instead of chips," she said. So he did, at first reluctantly, but over time he started to like the crunch. He kept a small bowl by the recliner. He'd read the paper and eat a few. They made his legs feel tighter. Not strong, not yet, but engaged. Over the course of 6 weeks, Walter and Carol changed more than just their grocery list. They got into a rhythm. Morning stretches, followed by eggs and yogurt. Afternoon walks after a lunch with greens and beans. Salmon twice a week. A doctor-recommended resistance band set was added to the routine. He grunted through it, but it felt good to work his muscles again. Then one Saturday morning, Carol left her reading glasses upstairs. Without thinking, Walter stood up, walked the stairs, and came back down with them. No handrail, no struggle. She raised her eyebrows. Did you just... I guess I did, he said, half laughing. His doctor noticed at his next visit. He'd gained 3 pounds of muscle, his balance test score improved, and his blood pressure had dropped. What'd you do? She asked. I stopped eating like I was 50, started eating like I want to still be standing at 85. She grinned. That's a great way to put it. It wasn't magic. His legs still ached on rainy days. He still moved slower than he used to, but he no longer feared the recliner or the stairs. He felt in control again, like his body hadn't completely betrayed him after all. The biggest lesson came one evening while sitting on the porch. Carol was knitting. Walter was watching a squirrel dig through the flower bed. He looked down at his legs, then at his hands. Funny how I spent all those years worrying about my heart, he said. But it's your legs that carry you through life. Carol didn't look up. That's why we're feeding them like royalty now. Walter smiled. He felt it in his thighs when he stood up, not pain, but power. Not what he used to be, but more than he thought was left. And it all started with 6 foods and the choice to fight back.